Sasha's secret preschool railroad on the other side of New Florida.
It was a lovely day on the island of New Florida, and the trains were being really useful with their passengers' freight and preschool products. Everything was right on schedule. Freight trains like to pull freight cars wherever they go because they're really useful indeed. The Nutham region on New Florida is always lovely year-round because of its lovely preschool engines that are cute and friendly. This is what makes them really useful indeed. I like helping out here, by the invitation of Becky the locomotive, of course. Sasha arrived at Oakwood Station. Christina was there. "Why are you so excited?" she asked. "A new train is coming tomorrow," said Sasha. "It's called the Midnight Floater." "Midnight Floater?" Christina said. "That's exciting, Sasha." "It really is," Sasha said. "I'm going to the opposite side of New Florida." And with that, Christina's passengers were on board, and she set off for Union Station. Later that day, Mr. Cakester had a job for Alexia, Dwee, and Becky. "Alexia, you are to collect nuclear waste and take it to Flatport, and Dwee and Becky, you are to collect diapers for the Midnight Floater. It's all Pampers." "Sounds like a plan, sir," puffed Dwee. "We need a lot of diapers around town," said Becky. And Alexia pulled them off. "We'll need to get this job done quickly," said Alexia. "People need a lot of diapers." Dwee and Becky hooked up to the Pampers diaper cars and they set off.
We'll change the baby,
boasted Dwee. And they were setting off to Wunsingaff. The diaper cars were shunted into a long train, and Dwee and Becky delivered the rest of the diapers together. And the midnight floater had the second half hooked up, and the train departed Union Station right on time. Meanwhile, Alexia was feeling pleased with herself because she was carrying hazardous materials over to Flatport. Her train was long, but she carried on down the tracks. The liquid inside the tank cars was very flammable, but she was taking good care. With her 92 cars. Becky was delivering more diapers when the points were misaligned in the wrong direction. That would only mean a collision was imminent. Alexia was puffing along with her horsepower, but Becky didn't have time to react because Alexia was fast approaching and the nuclear alarm went off. "Watch out, Becky!" she cried. She braked so hard, but she couldn't stop. The fire went into the air and then stopped. "You can't come back, Becky!" she cried. It was awful. Fire was raging. "Fudged it," they said from the flames. "Sorry, Becky," coughed Alexia. These ashes and soot are awful. It was the biggest fire ever. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the tank cars were derailed and Alexia had crunched her cowcatcher against Becky's. It was broken beyond repair, and so was Becky's. And soon, Alexia and Becky were back on the rails, and then some other locomotives took over for the train. Sasha was exhausted at the end of the day, and she and the other engines went to sleep at once. Early the next morning, Mr. Cakester was excited. "The midnight floater starts this afternoon," said Mr. Cakester. "Sasha, I want you to pull it." "I'm into it, sir," said Sasha. and she puffed out of the shed. It was the day of the midnight floater, so the Amtrak and Union Pacific locomotives hooked up, and the passengers were in the Metropolitan Lounge getting ready for their departure. And then the boarding call was made. It's the boarding call for the midnight floater, all aboard. And so I walked over to my sleeper car in the mid-train. As Parker, my sleeping car attendant, was there, I was ready to get on board. Time to board! Here it is! It was nice and cozy inside. And me and Parker Cakester were ready, and then the other train departed. And then it was our turn to depart. Goodbye, Onesing Half! I said. This journey was non-stop, and Sasha had multiple locomotives behind her. And then she steamed into the desert. Here comes the desert! She said. It was beautiful. Cactuses were everywhere, and it was lovely in the observation car. In the cafe car, they sold a brownie and Rice Krispie treat. Sasha made her way over the bridge. With every booster car and locomotive pushing from the rear, Sasha was on schedule. The train was really long, and Sasha puffed on. My dinner reservation was at 6:45 this evening. So I clattered down the tracks. The diaper cars were in the rear of the train. Sasha steamed into a tunnel and out the other side. The B units and A units behind were pushing from the rear, so Sasha controlled them remotely. What time is your dinner? 6:45, and I'm gonna walk over in a couple minutes. Look at that! I can see the back of the train! Oh, I went to the dome car as well, where the sky is lovely. At 6:45, dinner was reserved, and the The Mexican tacos were lovely and yummy. For dessert, I'm going to have the brownie and butter cake. So the brownie and butter cake were yummy too. Everyone loved them very much. Especially me. As the tunnel came into view. And at last, it was bedtime, so I went to the observation car to hang out for the last time. And then at last, I brushed them up, and it was time for bed. Lights out. Sasha steamed through the night. Her lamp was bright on. And the train had a lot of locomotives. And the coach passengers were asleep too. "Make way for the night express," called Sasha. Her cab was shiny and dark. "Here I go to Ganymede." It was time for lights out. While the train car swayed from side to side. "Good night, passengers," I said. It was late. Sasha went through the night, and early the next morning, my breakfast was served at 9:46, and then I had the M&M pancakes. And I had a nice shower indeed, but Sasha carried on. The coaches were lovely. "Here I come!" called Sasha. "The Notham region is forgotten." And then she steamed into the beautiful countryside. The locomotives pushed with all their might. Train 73 was long, and then train 74 came into view. "Hello, train," I said. It had different locomotives pulling it. But Sasha carried on. She stopped at Calypso Station and then carried on down the tracks. I was in the dome car again, and another train was about to pass. "Hello, train," I said. And then for lunch, I went with the spaghetti and meatballs, and they were lovely. And then I went for the butter cake again, along with the brownie. They were yummy. And then the train clattered down the tracks. while I digested in my seat, and it was time to go back to my roomette. Over at the crossing, some horses were waiting for Sasha to pass. "What a good name I have!" she said. Meanwhile, an unnamed preschool locomotive was shunting some freight cars, but it wasn't watching where it was going. Then there was trouble! Sorry about that. I can't stop to help. I'm on Sasha's train, and I'm sorry too. She steamed over a big bridge while I hung out in my roomette. There's no room for more than 2 people in a roomette, Sasha said. I'm just the best preschool engine ever! And the train clattered over the bridge. She arrived at the last station stop completely. And it's time for me to get off. Don't you think? After the last half of the train was detached, it was moved into a siding. I did watch the second half go to the maintenance facility while Sasha got ready herself. Some new engines were being met today. I hope you meet them and make eye contact, right? Let's just hope they're in the mood to talk, okay? Sasha shunted her locomotives out of the way. And then a man walked up. It was Mr. Fergustein. "A new preschool railroad has opened," he said. "Shh! Don't tell the other Amtrak locomotives that it's a preschool railroad. Collect your freight cars quickly." "I will, sir," whispered Sasha. Later that day, a commuter train was making its way to Ogden, but there was trouble. The points were broken. It happened. It bounced on the ties, and then it punctured the fuel tank, and then the locomotive leaked fuel and came to a stop on the ties. Sasha came to the rescue. "I'll have you out in no time," she said. Then she puffed with all her might to get everyone back on the rails, because this was a bus-free adventure. But then the locomotive was back on the tracks. When everything was sorted out, Sasha pushed the train to Ogden. She arrived right on time. She was early. Two locomotives hooked up to the 5 coaches, and Sasha had to collect a load of pizza sauce. She was so excited about the delivery. The last car and brake van were left behind! Then a new engine came. It was Tarin. You left the caboose behind! She cried, "Stop, Sasha!" Then she buffered up the train to get the last tank car and brake van, but then she noticed that the commuter train was on the same track and her brakes failed. It was too late! Groaned Tarin. This is yucky! Sorry, commuter train, she said. The brake van was omitted. Then Sasha pulled her to safety. And at last, a new engine called Christy buffered up to the front of Sasha and pulled her to the next station to deliver the new pizza sauce. Along with 2 engines called Sophie and Sarah. They were lovely. While the mess was being cleaned up, a strange Amtrak train was taking passengers to the countryside. The next day, Sasha was getting refueled near Oaks Valley Junction. And then she was shunting freight cars. When she shunted them, she bumped into some hopper cars. Then it happened. They disappeared like magic. And then Sasha shunted another wagon and it plunged into the ocean and disappeared like magic. Then Sasha delivered the empty cars over to Ganymede. She went to bed. And then an engine called Hannah arrived. And everyone, she yawned, and then everyone went to sleep. It was nice and peaceful. Until everything was going nice. The trains were still on schedule. But then an evil engine called Drucky arrived. Hello, guys! And then he turned his ditch lights on. Shut your lights off! Yelled Sasha. I've got this! Then she made an evil mistake. Prepare to have your face pushed. She pushed his face so hard. He rolled backwards into a pair of buffers! The next day, Mr. Fergustein was cross. "What you did last night was a mistake," he said. "You can't push engines' faces and shunt them into a siding like that. That's very aggressive." "I'm sorry, sir," moaned Sasha upsetly. She was sad. Try and cheer her up. And she went, "I'm sorry I pushed your face last night," Sasha said. "Ha ha! Don't be sorry! You're such a brat!" "Oh," snapped Drucky. "You're a disgrace. You're a fat engine." But everything was amiss. The wagons rolled really fast! Into a tunnel! They were going non-stop! They wouldn't stop at all. They rolled fast! "I must catch them!" moaned Sasha. "It's too late!" "Hello, Mr. Car!"
There's nothing self-made in a man, just his hand-me-down shoes. I got a bad day as far as I could extend. I'm feeling trapped in a growing list of demands, and I'm only scared for a set of steadier hands to hold the weight. I got a bad day as far as I could extend. I'm feeling trapped in a growing list of demands, and I'm only scared for a set of steadier hands to hold the weight that I carry.
The car dipped down toward a field.
right back into the air. Then it happened.
It was too late! I've never seen a flying car in my whole life, gasped Sasha. Her cab was crumpled. Then Neppy pulled up. Are you alright? She asked. I miss the Notham region and my friends that live there, moaned Sasha. And I miss pulling the overnight limited express, and my friend Dwee is doing it. Can you pull me back onto the tracks after you move these freight cars? I can't get out of here. She moaned. I'd be happy to help, said Neppy. Why don't you stay here for a few more weeks with us, and then you can go home. And so Neppy pulled Sasha back onto the tracks. Thanks, Neppy, she said heartbrokenly. I miss the other side of New Florida, and I'm gonna stay with you guys for a few more weeks. Later that day, Dwee was pulling the overnight limited express to Notham. She was a few minutes early when Mr. Cakester arrived. Have you heard any news about when Sasha's coming back, sir? No, Bucky, I haven't. She's gonna be out for 4 more weeks and then she'll come back at the end of October. I'm gonna miss her, sir, said Dwee nervously. It's okay to feel upset, but I think Sasha's gonna be back around the middle of October, actually, he said. Later that day, Alexia was pulling the overnight limited to Union Station. She was running a few minutes early. She arrived on time. Sasha's gonna be gone for a long time, said Alexia. Long time? Said Lauren. That's terrible. I hope she'll come back in a few weeks. Then an evil locomotive came up called Freppard. Ha ha ha! You're the fattest engines I know! Oh, what was that? Moaned Alexia. That was Freppard, said Lauren as she departed, and she steamed onto the main line. Even more things have been unusual today. The North Star Express locomotives had commuter cars and damn fleet cars! And there were viewliners in the rear! They were coming from a bygone era! And even the train at intercity cars! There were gallery wagons in the front and superliners in the rear! It was really unusual! Well, because of Drucky and Freppard! Sasha was shunting coaches when Mr. Ferguson had some bad news. A big storm is coming on Friday, he said. The passengers are going on a round trip instead of a one-way. I'm sure you're okay with that, he said. The trains were not giving up. They were being really useful.
Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Big and small. Big and small. Big and small. Big, 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 small, small, small. Big and small. Big and small. Big, 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 small, small, small. Loud and quiet. Loud and quiet. Loud and quiet. Loud, 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 loud. Shh, quiet. Loud and quiet. Loud and quiet. Loud, 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 loud. Shh, quiet. Peek-a-boo. 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 Peek-a, peek-a, peek-a-boo. 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 Peek-a, peek-a, peek-a-boo.
Hannah arrived at Union Station with her train. "Special train delivery," she said. Then Dodie arrived with Bryn. "You've got a nice look," she said. "I'm the best engine New Florida's ever seen," she boasted. "We've got an important schedule today," said Bryn. Meanwhile, Freppard shunted some freight cars hard, and they crashed into some buffers. "Oh no!" they cried. "It was too late!" Freight cars were shunted. But Freppard didn't care at all. "That was funny," she laughed. Meanwhile, the Amtrak Crescent was going backwards. It was really impractical. And an airplane was flying overhead. I saw the locomotive from down below, and then Thomas had to collect a load of candy. "This is a very special load," he said. "You must wait for the brakes to be released." Thomas tried to shunt them. "I must do it, I must," he said. His wheels slipped, and they slipped. "What?" he said. "On! Faster, faster!" Then there was trouble.
The brakes snapped off completely, and Thomas took off like a bullet. Cinders and ashes! He yelled. I can't stop! Faster! Faster! Yelled the freight cars. Chocolate yum yum! They said. And Thomas rocketed down the hill like the Shinkansen bullet train. Percy was waiting with the mail train ahead, but he didn't know Thomas was coming. The brake van passed Percy, but the candy cars did not! Luckily, no one was mad. But Thomas and Percy were completely engulfed in chocolate and candy. I'm sorry, Thomas, moaned Percy. This chocolate is sticky. And I can't deliver it at all, moaned Thomas. Then Becky and Dwee passed. We've got the route going with the new candy. Feel better, you guys. Thomas heard a voice. Hello, puffballs! Diesel 10 said. Pinchy wants some chocolate! Pinchy wants candy! I'm shutting your mouth forever! He bellowed. Then Sam came by with the mail train. How would you be able to hear me talking if you told me to shut up? She asked. I wouldn't be able to speak. It would make it hard. It was Sasha's last day in Ganymede region, and she had to collect diapers and bring them to the docks. Make way for the diapers, Sasha said. Fresh ones coming through for the clean babies. She steamed into the dockyard, but then she saw an airplane in the air. She tried not to stare, but by staring anyway, there was trouble. This was unexpected. Her firebox had gone out because she had gone right into the Ganymede Canal. And a lot of steam was hissing and she was engulfed. Her fire was completely out. Things have gone amiss. No one was hurt, but Sasha was underneath the water. This water is really bad for me, she said. It feels like I'm in a toilet. I hope no one didn't poop me out. She was stuck. It was wet and damp. Then Neppy arrived. I'll be back on the trucks in no time, she said. And Neppy pulled Sasha back onto the tracks. Her engine roared and her axles ached. And the freight cars clanked, and she got the wet Sasha out of the sea. Thank you so much, Neppy, she said. This water is wet around me. Goodbye, Sasha. I'm glad you were happy here, said Neppy.
It's bedtime now. Later that day, while the sun was setting, the trains were being really useful on the tracks while they were carrying their passengers, freight, and preschool products, of course. All was going well while the trains were doing their work. The roomettes and bedrooms were always luxury. And that night, all the engines in Notham's sheds were asleep. They were ready for a good night's rest. Becky and we were exhausted and asleep. It was early in the morning, and Sasha was preparing her train for departure. She had the same exact cars and she shunted them in. And then the second half was soon shunted. And it was time for departure. So I got into my sleeper car and walked to the same roomette. And it was time for Sasha to leave. And she said goodbye to her friends in the Ganymede region as she left the station. The train was very long, and Sasha carried on. The cafe car had been open for serving, so I went with the Rice Krispie treat and the red Gatorade. And then the Cape Flyer came into view. In my roomette, I felt it coming, and then it sped by. The train was long, but Sasha carried on. The dome car was really luxury, and my dinner reservation was at 6:45, and the sun was setting. It was the best sunset ever. Over in the dining car, it was lovely. I went with the spaghetti and meatballs and mozzarella cheese, and it was the best cheese ever. And I went with the butter cake and brownie for dessert. It was also yummy. And at last it was bedtime after my teeth were brushed. And then the train went into the night. Sasha blew her whistle as the train clattered along the tracks. After the lotions and evening meds, it was time for bed. Then the lights went out. Good night. While we're far away. My lamp sure does shine bright at night. It was almost time for breakfast. So Sasha kept blowing her whistle and ringing her bell everywhere she went. It was the best night ever.
Going now, going on my own. All my faults are left behind. Going far, far away from home. Live it all for now, for another time. Anywhere I go, everywhere I went, always on my own. Listening to the voice which you're going by, oh, to your new home. Finding out what I miss the most made me turn around to where I belong. Just this one thing kept bothering my mind. Why did I live in the first place? Anywhere I go, everywhere I went, always on my own. Listening to the voice which you're going by, oh, to your new home.
While the train clattered over the tracks, the crossing bells rang and the lights flashed. On the way back to Union Station, train 73 passed on the opposite line.
Although sometimes you feel this way, doesn't mean you have to go the way. There's always somebody who cares, who won't let go of you, who'll always be there. Although sometimes you feel this way, doesn't mean you have to go the way. There's always somebody who cares, who won't let go of you, who'll always be there.
Sasha was so pleased with herself. She was happy to be home. The railroad cars were excited too, along with Sasha. The passenger cars clattered behind while Sasha led the way. Yeah. The diaper cars were full of clean baby diapers for changed babies. Then Sasha arrived at Union Station right on time. After the train was brought to the yard, Sasha had to collect freight cars of fresh diapers for changed babies, and she steamed out of the yard. As soon as Sasha delivered the diapers, there was trouble. An evil laugh sounded in the distance, and it was an evil steam locomotive named Nuggly.
Here I am to cause some trouble.
Sasha. There's an inappropriate and derogatory engine on the loose. She sped off.
I'm gonna get you! I'm gonna... Are you off the rails?
You can't! moaned Sasha. Let's get out of here before all hell breaks loose! And ahead, Drucky and Freppard were on a mixed-up evil train, but they didn't know about Nuggly.
Watch out!
Going to the rail, she said. But there were nuclear goods inside. Then it was too late! Nuggly was completely destroyed beyond repair, and fire raged and engulfed the whole derailment. The head-on collision was catastrophic. It was the most terrible thing of all. Luckily, no one was mad, but people had jumped to safety before the crash and their heads were intact. And there wasn't any vulgar issues, and Nuggly was on her side, and Drucky was destroyed too. I'm sorry this happened, moaned Sasha. I'm glad it doesn't seem vulgar with stomach problems like vomiting and diarrhea. But Nuggly was crumpled and destroyed, and Sasha steamed back to the yard. She was getting refueled after the astronomical head-on collision that was counterproductive. Then she came back to the sheds. We're so glad you're back, said Alexia. We are happy you're back, Sasha, smiled Dwee. We missed you so much. You're even happy to pull the express again, said Becky. I hope you do a good job, said Christina. All the engines were really happy indeed. Sasha brought the overnight limited express into place, and the doors closed, and she steamed out of the station. Make way for the limited express, she said. She was back on her normal duty again. Make way for me! And the cafe was in front of the coaches, and so was the other sleeper car. It was an unusual train set. But Sasha didn't mind. She just carried on down the tracks, feeling pleased with herself, and forgot all about Nuggly, Drucky, and Freppard. They were completely destroyed. For the rest of the afternoon, Sasha pulled her usual passenger train called the Overnight Limited Express. She was happy to see that crash go away, But even though there's no head-on collision again, it would only be hoped that there was nothing repeated in the future. Her behavior was going very well, and the roomettes and bedrooms were comfy inside. Sasha had to stop at a signal to wait for the midnight service to pass. It had locomotives on both ends, and it was its own overnight corridor. The train passed Sasha very calmly. It was being really useful. The signal soon changed to green, and Sasha puffed onto the main line. Her train was really nice indeed. She arrived at North Flatport. Alexia was shunting troublesome trucks, but then one of them wasn't coupled up properly. "Oh no!" gasped Alexia. Then she shunted them to a stop. "Ah, that was funny! One of our leaders left the trucks." It rolled toward Norfolk Southern locomotives, and then it was too late till the last second. "Same-a-roo!" laughed the freight car. It bumped right into some tank cars, and one of them rolled away toward a siding and a pair of buffers. No one was hurt or worse. The journey was going really nice as Sasha continued on her way down the line. There were no nuclear explosions, accidents, or chases against evil characters. And even though Sasha is the best engine ever, we can only hope that there's no more accidents in the future. Don't you? We have come to the happy end of our story. And it's time for us all to go home. Just like Sasha. Make way for the overnight limited express! I'm the best ever!
sound wave, swinging through the stars. Take a left at human testing. Take your second right past Mars on the magic school bus. Navigator nostril. Climb on the magic school bus. Make a plankton too.
Take that!
On our magic school bus. Drop the river of lava. On the magic school bus. Such a fine thing to do. So strap your bones right to the seat. Come on in and don't be shy. Just to make your day complete. You might get baked into a pie on the magic school bus. Step inside, it's a wilder ride. Come on, right?